Studio. We welcome now Nick Chabarria, spokesman for AAA Mississippi. Hey, Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing great. Everything's fine. So the big July 4th travel weekend is upon us. Of course, the 4th falling on a Thursday means lots of folks will probably extend that into an elongated weekend. I suspect on the road today, perhaps tomorrow. I've seen reports suggesting this may be the busiest travel July 4th holiday ever. What do your data say?
Yeah, that's what we're forecasting at AAA. Nationwide, we're expecting nearly 71 million people to travel more than 50 miles away from home over the course of what we're now looking at is the entire week surrounding the July 4th, as well as the 2 weekends. That's expected. That's a record high number of travelers for the 4th of July holiday, with the vast majority of folks taking road trips, accounting for about 60 million people hitting the road. Again, already the travel period well underway as we're talking here the day before July 4th.
Yeah, and besides, I know it's not you guys' deal, but besides the travel via motor vehicle on the roads, the TSA is predicting that this is going to be big time for air travel as well. So it sounds like Americans are enjoying the day off coming in the Thursday day of the week, and just like I said, extending that into a long holiday weekend, which I think is good news for a lot of folks that make their money off of travelers and vacationers. Is that the sort of data you tracked as well?
Yeah, we're seeing this is expected to be about a 5% increase in the overall number of travelers compared to Independence Day last year. And that puts us nearly 9% above the total volume from 2019 prior to the pandemic. So this increase in travel has only been a trend that we've seen really, since mid-2021. We've only seen travel rebounding and increasing, especially for these, major holidays, whether it be summer holidays or the year-end or Thanksgiving travel. And that certainly is good news for the travel industry, which, took a major hit during the pandemic. So, it's a trend that we've been tracking for the last few years. And, travel really doesn't show signs of slowing at all, especially as we head toward midsummer here.
Are you surprised, Nick, just based on historical experience, that the elevated price of gas is not deterring travelers?
Yeah, and I think what we found, even if we go back a couple years when we hit record highs for gas prices, in Mississippi and around the country, that was in June, just a couple years ago. And what we found at that time, even with record high prices, that wasn't impacting people's decisions to travel for the 4th of July holiday just a few weeks after that. At that time, what we found is people were adjusting their travel habits during the week, maybe driving less, running less errands, or trying to combine their errands into one trip, finding ways to save money rather than changing, their leisure travel plans altogether. And in talking about gas prices for this year, good news for Mississippi drivers. Although prices have come up a few cents in the last week, Mississippi drivers paying the lowest statewide gas price average of any state in the country by more than 7 cents. So certainly, if you're heading out from Mississippi, fill up before you cross state lines, and that may save you a few bucks on the road.
What about availability of gas? Any problems expected there?
No supply issues expected. Of course, the U.S. so far has largely dodged a bullet with the hurricane moving through the Gulf, but no supply issues to speak of at this time. And again, prices relatively being held in check, very close to where we were for 4th of July last year.
Yeah, I've noticed the last few days the price of a barrel of oil has ticked up. I think it's about $84 a barrel right now. And I guess the analysis I would make on that is that folks haven't cut back on demand. As long as the demand's there, the retail price of gas is going to stay at that level. As long as they can sell what they're making, essentially, and they're not sitting on a bunch of inventory, the oil companies are going to keep the price in that range. Do you think folks are kind of getting accustomed to gas at this price?
Well, I think, of course, what folks consider expensive or high is can be relative. Typically, you see a lot of conversation, and people tend to notice when their local gas stations change over to that next dollar mark, right? So if you go from 2.95 to over $3, that's when people really pay attention, even though
Yeah.
it's only maybe a 6 cent increase. But right now, gas throughout Mississippi is most stations are likely under that $3 mark. And so, again, I think we're paying similar prices to where we were last year. It may be a sign of the times that this is kind of the new standard for gas prices.
Yeah. Well, it certainly feels like it because though the price has increased a fair amount, we really haven't seen that significant a decrease in demand. In fact, not at all. And I think that, of course, given the way the price of a barrel of oil works, very much tied into the supply and demand dynamic on a daily basis, it continues to tick upward. It almost feels like we'd have to have a pullback on demand before we'd see a significant drop in the price of oil. But motorists are out and about. Anything else we should know about highways being closed or any sort of route changes that or you guys are tracking that Mississippians need to know about?
Well, we do look at some of the busiest times for travel on the roadways throughout the course of the holiday. Today, this afternoon, July 3rd, being one of the busiest times to head out. You typically get a lot of folks, maybe taking a half day from work or leaving right after work today to get to their 4th of July destinations. And then also Saturday, Sunday, even Monday now on the return trip. Coming
Mm-hmm.
home after the 4th, expected to be busy as well. The best way to avoid some of the heaviest congestion out on the roadways, leave as early as possible in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, the roads start to clog up, early afternoon to mid evening hours. So if you can avoid some of the heavy metro areas where congestion usually backs up, avoid those around those times, and try to make your way through there early in the morning. That can help you save some time on the roads.
So, what about AAA services, Nick? Are there any services that are not available, for example, in any areas when motorists are traveling, when members are traveling, or is that part of the agreement in the terms of the service?
Well, we know that there's expected number of high number of cars out on the roads during these holiday weekends. So, we're fully staffed up, ready to assist motorists. AAA's forecasting that we'll come to the aid of about 1,000 motorists in Mississippi over the course of the Fourth
Wow.
of July period. And of course, we'll be out and ready to help. Easiest way members can get in touch is through our mobile app, the Auto Club app, or online. Even non-members as well. If you need assistance, you can sign up on the spot to get a tow if you do need over the course of the weekend.
What's the most common cause for the need for AAA services a traveling motorist would have?
Yeah. During the summer months, we see a high number of calls for dead or disabled batteries, flat tires, and engine problems. Batteries in Mississippi typically last anywhere from 3 to 5 years. AAA recommends if your battery is more than 3 years old, have it tested. That way you can replace it preemptively rather than have it die in somewhere you maybe don't want to be. Also, a good reminder: carry a good pair of jumper cables with you if that does happen. Tires, you can make sure your tires are properly inflated and have good tread depth before you leave home. That may help prevent, some of the added wear and risk for flat tires while you're out on the road. And we're a little bit up against the gun here with people leaving, but always want to make sure you keep up with regular maintenance on your vehicle, oil changes, tire rotations. That's not going to not only make sure that you get to where you're going safely, but also will help max out your vehicle's fuel economy, make sure you're getting the most for your money.
Yeah, well, it's great insurance to have because I have it. I'm a member. My family is as well. Have been for many years, and have had to utilize the service. You know, it's been necessitated. And man, it sure is a relief to know when you can, just like you said, get on that mobile app and locate where you are and fill out the form. It's pretty simple to do. Nothing to it. Couple of clicks and boom. What's happened to me is I get called and told that somebody's on the way and here's when they're going to come, and I've had batteries replaced right there on the spot before. So, great service. Appreciate you coming on, Nick, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again soon. Thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and hope everybody has a safe 4th.
You too. We're coming right back, folks, in the Element Wealth studio.